And hello, everyone. Time for another session of what is news in the Distroland. So, very interesting one today. That's actually been getting a lot of press recently. Is the XeroLinux. So, XeroLinux, of course, is a hobbyist Arch-based distro, actually built on Arca Linux's ALCI build scripts. Um, really customizable, uses KDE Plasma, and it is one of the few, if not the only, Linux distro that comes out of Lebanon. Even checking the website, great to the point. It has great features such as rices, so you can literally change the interface and how everything looks, which we'll go through just now, as well as relevant grub themes as well. Um, Great official pages on YouTube, which you can read, and of course, they've also pointed out a couple of the other reviews for the distro, as well as a couple of FAQs. Um, Something really, really interesting with this distro as well is that of course, it uses normal Arch underneath or Arca underneath, and quite easy to get up and running. Having said that, let's take a look. So let's use Virtual Manager, create a new image. Yes, we'll browse. We use XeroLinux 64, Arch-based, perfect, and give this 4 gigs of memory as well as 2 CPUs. And I'll just give it 40 gigs here, just anyway, and just call it XeroLinux. It's been known as the eye candy lovers distro, so it'll be really interesting to see it. Of course, here it's got normal and safe graphics, so the NVIDIA drivers are no longer pre-built into it anymore. You can install that during the installation. If you do have issues loading or not to use any specific built-in drivers, you can just use safe graphics. Of course, for this, we'll just use the normal and get it going. Let's take a look while it starts to boot up. Cool, some nice branding on there while we just wait for systemd to finish what it needs to do. It does take a couple of seconds to start up, not necessarily as fast as some other distros when it comes to booting up for the first time. But still, we also need to remember that this is in a virtual machine running from a live ISO, so it will take a couple of seconds longer, at least the first time. Okay, something's definitely happening here. And also to call out, it's been XeroLinux's 1-year anniversary, so congratulations to the team. And this edition is called the Anniversary Edition as well. Okay, so right now I'm just going to expand this to full screen. We have a mouse cursor here, so it'll probably take a few more seconds to go through. What's been really interesting is you can see it has its pre-XeroLinux welcome screen, installer, update Arch lists, VMware Tools resolution fix, and being able to launch partition managers. Looking at some of its tooling, I'm just going to fix the resolution. I'm just going to do it from the GUI just so that it is testing the tools. And of course, this uses a customized edition of KDE. I know this distro used to have another flavor as well, but now they've opted to rather just focus on KDE, at least for now. Okay, so I'm gonna start this off here. Actually, really nice look here, and let's start off with the installer. Okay, also another Calamares installer. What's really great here, you can actually, like a lot of these distros these days, you can select your various options. For example, if you were running NVIDIA, you would go and select your relevant drivers. If you're a person that uses hypergraphics on your laptop with NVIDIA, like I do, it would enable uh, Prime, NVIDIA Prime and Optimus Manager. For those of you that like using ButterFS, you can install all the relevant info here for Snapper. So you can do time shifting and rollbacks. And of course, you can add various stuff here, printing support, various drivers, system tools if you need. So one thing that's really great about this distro, it's all about choice. Right, and I'm not going to select anything extra. Actually, I'll just select Snapper for ButterFS. Okay, a default time zone, that's fine. I'm going to choose erase disk. What is very interesting with this distro though, you'll see it actually defaults to XFS and not to ButterFS or ext4 like a lot of other distros. For this install, I'm actually just going to choose ButterFS since we chose the tooling, and I'm actually just going to have no swap. Cool. So let's just call this a name. We can just call this XeroLinux test and add a strong password. And let's use the same for the admin or for the root account and hit install. Okay. While this goes ahead and creates its various partitions, what's also nice is an installer, you hit this button here and it will actually show you what's going on in the background. Pretty nice feature. Okay, so that's the image files busy unpacking. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video and come back when it's finished installing. And we're back and it's completed the installation. No errors encountered, so let's restart the system. Okay. That was a quick shutdown. Very nice, easy looking boot screen or grub theme. Let's see how long it takes to boot up now. Pretty cool. Yeah, I must admit also the creator of this distro has also made it very clear that it is a not so much, it's more of a hobby OS for them, and users need to manage the expectations, especially if they go to the forums asking for questions, which is really fair and understandable. Here back to the logon screen, so let's log in. And take a look at what we have. Also still does take a couple of seconds to start up. But that's again understandable. Okay, I just need to sort out the resolution again, which makes sense since previously we did that while it was on a live CD. So let's just sort that out quickly. Probably would help if I went to the right location. System settings. And back to not appearance. Why on earth did I click there? Split monitor and 920 1080. Yeah, let's keep that. Cool. So default option here, as you can see, which is at the top, bit of a menu at the bottom. As we see by default, since we didn't add any of the additional applications, pretty lightweight. as well. A couple of KDE apps. But I really would like to investigate the XeroLinux system tool a bit more. So first thing one can do is update the system. App installer, fix common issues. So and as well as rises. So if you look at common issues, a couple of great options here. Apply ArchGP keys fix on a couple of ASA times. Sometimes with Arch that gives us issues, especially with Pacman. So that's a great fix. Enabling Wayland sessions quite interesting. I wouldn't recommend doing that if you're using video card, at least not yet. And the other fixes have already been added to the ISO. Various system configs, of course, shell configurations, so you can switch to ZSH, and if you've done that and you want to go back to Bash, and Bash is the default, you can add that. You can also have the Bash or ZSH aliases updated, install configure Samba, firewall, HBlock. HBlock is basically a tool that updates one's local host file to block all those ads. And if you want to initialize Snapper, you would select this option here. And again, of course, that's if you chose the ButcherFS option. Looking at the XeroLinux Rices, so you click on Rices Preview, and it will open up the page in the default browser, which is Firefox. So let's just look here. Cool. So also what you would see on the website is the latest Rice. Okay. Sweet. Dracul. All these options here as well. And of course, if you do use something such as Dracul Rice, might use a little bit more memory just with having latte duck and having all the extra configuration. But let's see how well it works when it comes to trying it. So we can try Zero Sweet Rice. It is important to remember that if you do select it, the idea is you install the OS and then change the rice, or use the rice switcher, because it will remove your settings, at least your default KDE application settings. So here, let's do option 4, hit enter, gives you about 20 seconds option to cancel, and you just wait and see. Okay, that is interesting. It is actually nice to have a distro that gives you the option of changing its interface. I mean, so easily. Yes, obviously you can change any distro and any GUI's interface, but a lot of the time they're obviously pre-customized to the distro maintainer's idea, which is nothing wrong with doing that. But it's nice here with this, you get a couple of options. Here it tells you to override the rice. It creates a backup of config folder, installing the required packages, quite a bit of Ruby. While that downloads, I suspect it shouldn't take too long. Okay, installing. Very interested to see if this will work. I'm sure it will work. Okay, now it's just installing the relevant themes. I really like that this is so automatic, really. It's actually a great addition. Okay. Even adds different fonts, emojis. Oh, it actually really does seem to change quite everything about the interface. Here. Give that a few seconds to go. And yeah, it looks like it's almost done. guess I could have paused the video halfway, but that's all. That's fine. It's almost done. Updating grub, applying it, found the theme. It looks like it's going to update the grub theme as well, which is interesting. I thought that would be separate. Okay, it's installed. Really cool. Wow, okay. That would have been a nice message earlier on, is if the system had actually warned you it was going to reboot automatically instead of just doing it. This, I guess, is the grub theme you get if you select Suite. Cool. Yeah, no, really, I think if you're doing anything there, or I mean, you shouldn't really be making changes like that while you've got other items open, but if you are, it would just reboot and not give you any opportunity. So it's important to watch out for that. I think a bit of a disclaimer before starting there would be quite prudent. Okay, cool. Let's log in again. See, it's changed the login theme. See how long it takes. Must say for one, I believe it's only one person or one maintainer for this distro. Really some great work and customizations they've done to it. Really, really nice so far. The new background theme. I'm interested to see if there's going to be any issues with KDE loading. I know. Icon setters, new icon setters here. I see the bar at the top is now translucent. And a couple of new widgets. And of course, hit F12. And yeah, we've got our terminal here. That's all pretty cool. And as you can see, it's still running bash, so that's fine. We haven't changed that. And it's using 889 megs out of 4 gigs at start. Not bad at all. Looking at the menu, pretty. Yep, it looks like it's actually fully changed the theme. Very nice. I just want to check if the other folders are there. Okay, cool. So that looks pretty decent. What I want to do is actually check what the default Pacman repos are. I do believe for this specific version, there are new repos because they used to use the Arca repos, but I believe it's now got its own. But let's just take a look. etc. And it should be pacman.conf. So pacman.conf. Cool. Okay, cool. So as you can see, multi-lib is already available, which is out of the box, which is great. Because if you don't have that, then you won't see 32-bit libraries, and if you try to install Steam, you wouldn't see it anyway. You can enable additional Linux kernels as well. I do see here there's a XeroLinux repo, actually two of them that's included, as well as the normal traditional Arch Core Extra Community Multi-lib. Okay, really nice. Pretty standard there. So let's just close that. Let's close the terminal and see what application they have to install software. Additionally, okay, give that a few seconds to load. Good old Pamac. I'm interested to just see its default. Yeah, okay, give you password. Okay, by default, it will check for updates. Okay, no AUR support enabled by default. So you can just hit that, and then if you wanted to check for updates, you could. Or you could enable Flatpak support as well if you wanted. Just to see Flatpaks come up. You can close that. And it works pretty normal, as this normally does. Okay, so I believe the helper that's pre-installed is yay. Yeah, so if we just run yay straight, see it synchronizing the various libraries all by itself. I don't expect it to find much updates. Okay, so that all seems to work quite well and without a hitch. And must say, general impressions of this OS actually pretty good. Not only does it have the eye candy for eye candy lovers, it's really leaves the user with choice, which I really like. Uh, as I previously said, not many distros do that. I also think it has the fine line between eye candy, giving the users choice, and having bloat. Of course, often a lot of similar type of distros will try to have so much additional software pre-installed. We're here using the configuration tool, and you check app installer. It should, I would imagine, give us an additional list of info here. Okay, it's not owned by you at 0. So here we go. If there's anything extra you need to add, it's all broken down. So let's say audio and music converters, players, and this is just a selection of players that you would find available. And sure, with everything else, yep, same under gaming and all the other rest. So you literally are able to choose what you want. And of course, you don't have to use this tool. You can just do it manually via the CLI or PAMAC if you prefer. But this gives you a nice starting journey if you are newer to Arch or to Linux and you just want to install a random application or something where you need some ideas. So this, it's interesting to see Amarok. I'm going to choose Amarok. Some music play to see how well this works. I didn't think they've been developing Amarok. I'm actually surprised to not see Strawberry or one of the other spin-offs from it, or at least from version of the earlier versions. Amarok 2.9. Let's look. Okay, so if you choose this, again, tells you the packages, what the installed size will be. And let it retrieve packages. Okay. That just says installing. No status bar or anything. Ah, there we go. Okay, installing. I suspect it should almost be done. Okay, it says it's finished, so let's just close all of that. Gonna go see if it added ejected. Amarok, just out of interest. Is it part of the original Amarok builds that was left or the newer versions when KDE 4 came out? Just curious. Ah, right. This isn't from the older Amarok that Strawberry Player and all the rest are based on. This is after it was rebuilt. Okay, curious choice. But again, up to you. Don't have to use it. Okay, yeah, here we go, Amarok. Of course, you can also, from the tool, disable auto start. So I assume that's obviously to stop this tool from loading. And yeah, again, pretty all stock standard stuff here. With a couple of tweaks here and there. So final, well, gotta tell you, I really, really like this distro. I might actually consider installing it on my main machine, especially since I've recently ended up corrupting my own installation of Arch because of my NVIDIA drivers. And I've been wanting to start it fresh again. So I might actually try this on my main hardware. Good, easy way to get up and running quickly with Arch or Arch based. And if you're in the mood for some eye candy options built into it. So yeah, I think I'm gonna end this video off here. As always, if you have feedback, if you use this, or any suggestions, if you think I've missed something, it'd be great to hear from you. But yeah, really, really awesome XeroLinux team. Great work. Hope to see this distro continue in future. And yeah, take care, everyone, and keep well. Cheers.